For those of you that are unaware, every single spell and every single ability Sage has is a Greek word. It originates from either ancient Greek or modern Greek, and I will help you understand them. Now, Dosis, or commonly pronounced in Greek as Dosis, it is a Greek word which means dosage, also known as the quantity that you will address X amount of drug in a patient. For example, how much milligrams you would give them, you know? It is also used in drug addicts when they say πήρε τη δόση του, he took his dosage, meaning that, you know, he did his fucking, you know, you guys know what he did, okay? Diagnosis, this means diagnose. Diagnose is also a Greek word, which means I tell you what is wrong with you. I give you my diagnosis, I am telling you what is happening, what the situation is, you know, something that the pathology do in modern medicine. Now this one, I am really curious, however, how you guys would try to pronounce. This is pronounced as Kardia, which means in the literal sense, heart. So here's the thing, words in Greek have genders, you know, like Andras or Andras, it's masculine, η γυναίκα is the lady, the woman is feminine, and we also have the neutral gender, okay? Kardion is the neutral version of the word kardia. We usually use it as, you know, in advanced medicine, such as myocardio, which means muscle, the muscle tissue of cardia. It is a very specific example, you know, restoring HP after casting certain magic attacks. So it is a medicine that is used to help the guy's heart. You quite literally meant the heart from an anatomical perspective. Prognosis or prognosis, I will make sure to point out the difference in the end between prognosis and prognosis and what this means, is when you predict something. Like prognosis is when I predict, the prediction itself. Prognosko from pro, which means beforehand. You guys often use this as the prefix preheated oven, okay? This pre is from pro in Greek, okay? Prognosis means before knowledge. So you don't really know it, you're just projecting out an idea. You are speculating, one could say, alright? Prognosko, before knowledge in the literal sense. It restores own HP and the HP of all nearby party members. I guess that this could be used as a shield if we were to quite literally use the meaning of the word. Now, why do we have SIS towards every single, as you guys can see, it's very often that you will see, okay? Now, SIS was replaced, this is ancient Greek, it was replaced with sigma S and eta, or as you guys could type it, either E or, you know, I. It is the evolution of the Greek language, okay? So prognosis became prognosis, diagnosis became diagnosis, and so physis became physi, and so on and so forth, okay? So this is the ancient Greek version of the word, you know, which is, again, very appreciative to see. Like, from a Greek's perspective, it's beautiful. Okay, maybe it's a given to people that speak language or Spanish to see their words being used all the time. But from a Greek's point of view, it is very, very interesting to see things like that. Egeiro means to vitalize, in a sense. Now, physis is very, very interesting, for it comes from the word physis, Greek, which means nature, like the nature. But here's also the thing, then nature itself, like if we take and debunk the word nature, it can be used literally and metaphorically. For example, the nature of a good person is to help. The nature of a bad person is to cause harm, right? So you can take it in the metaphorical sense, or you can quite literally use it for nature, Mother Nature, like the one you see around you, alright? Gradually restores own HP and the HP of all nearby members. I'm guessing this is something of a stretch that the developers did to, you know, like heal everybody. It's natural. You cast a natural ability that will heal everybody around you. It does make sense. I guess, like, for the lack of a better term, they would decide to use physis. Now, phlegma. This is okay. Every single guy has asked me, like, what does phlegma mean? And it's stupid. Okay, like, this particular word is very, very stupid. Phlegma in Greek means phlegm. I'm not going to produce one for you guys, but it's quite literally the act when you snort through the nose all this, you know, extra elegant juices, and then you spit the fuck out on the ground. Okay, now that's the fucking Phlegma, Now, deals unsuspected damage to a target and enemies with it, with a potency of that for the first enemy and 30% less for the remaining enemies. It does make sense that if you spit in someone's eye, it's not fucking ideal. That's what I'm getting from this. It's a bit silly, Also, for some reason, it restores HP to targets under the effect of Kardia granted to you. I don't know what this has to do with heart, though. I guess, the way I'm trying to think this, this is a stretch on my behalf, is that if your friends see you spitting on a fucking guy, they're obviously going to laugh. So their heart is going to produce extra beats, and it's going to go like this, okay? I have no fucking idea what to say about this particular word. Now, Eukrasia, I'm gonna be super honest with you guys. I have no fucking idea what the guys are trying to say here, but here's the thing. F means good in ancient Greek. Currently, the word for beautiful person is omorphos. It comes from the ancient words ev, morphi. Ev means good, morphi means shape. So the one who has good shape is the one we address as a beautiful person. So this is supposed to be something that has to do with good. Now, krasia, I guess, could come from as a stretch from the word krato, which means keep. So you could keep someone in a good state. This is my speculation. I cannot quite be 100% certain about whether this is the etymology that they used with this particular word. It says that it augments certain offensive and healing magic actions. So I guess it could be you improve yourself because you Eukratis are so you are being kept in a better state. This is my speculation, all right? Eukrasian Diagnosis, or however we would call it, is Eukrasian Diagnosis. We would remove the N from the Greek aspect. It is the diagnosis, the treatment that you get with this particular method, So you have diagnosis and you have prognosis. You do the prognosis before the patient gets sick. You're like, my friend, if you keep smoking extensively, you are going to get cancer. This is not a fact. This is something that is going to happen. However, when you go and you get the x-ray of a person that smokes a lot, you will see the lung cancer, and then you will do your diagnosis, which means now you have cancer. That's it. This is the before, and this is the after, and this is the state. So we are in the state of Eukrasia, and we predict, or we diagnose, or we address what's happening. So we also have the Eukrasian Dosis, which is the dosage that you need to give to the guy. How much? What's the dosage of the drug that you would give him in order to fix him? So this is more of a method of medicine, a perspective, a point of view, one could say. Now, this one, I guess that you guys, it would be impossible for you guys to pronounce this. This is pronounced as Soteria, which means salvation in Greece. It grants 4 stacks of Soteria, each increasing the cure potency of Kardian effects by 70%. Now, when we say that I found my Soteria, this is exactly precisely what we mean. So this is a direct meaning of the word salvation. Icarus, I don't know why it would say rush. It would make more of a sense if it would say fly to a target enemy's or party's member's location. Why? Because Icarus, in ancient Greece, I don't know if you guys know his story, is the guy that was given, he pretty much made wings. He was given wings by his father, Daedalus. He flew too close to the sun, his wings burned, and then he fell and crashed, and this is why we have the Icarian Sea, or Icario Pelagos in Greece, okay? It would make more sense if they would use the word fly instead of rush. I do not know the animation in the game, alright? Now, we go to a word that I have really struggled to interpret myself. It's Druochole. Now, holy coal is a part in the human body, okay? The thing that I'm not a doctor myself, so maybe I'm 100% wrong here. I think it has to do with insulin or something, when the holy just fucking pumps out some chemistry shit. I'm not quite certain, okay? Now, Druochole, I would not assume how it has to do, but I would assume that it goes and it addresses that part of the human body. Just like Kardia addresses the person's heart, we have Druochole addressing his holy, that part of the body. Maybe close to the liver, Ipar, or Sikoti, we will see later down the line. Now, Dyskrasia, much like before when we talked about Eukrasia, F is good. Dyskrasia means bad. Dyskrasia is a state of bad. Dealing unsuspecting damage with a potency to all nearby members, it makes sense that the Eukrasia would do something good and Dyskrasia would do something bad. Allow me to give you guys an example. Ευ-δυς means happiness. It means joy. Ευ-δυς, good fortune. This here quite literally means bad fortune, sorrow, unhappiness. Okay? Now, this might be something of a stretch on my behalf. Keras in ancient Greek means horn. Okay? Now, what is horns? Horn is something rough, something, tough to break. Okay? Holy is, as I said, a part of the human body. So if you, put a keras, a horn around somebody's holy, somebody's organ, I guess you make them able to take less damage, which I guess does make sense if you are to see it from this perspective, that they reduce the damage taken and so on and so forth. Now, από εκεί και πέρα, from this point and onwards, I don't know how I could address this now. Ixochole, again, it's a state, like, as you guys can see, it has to do with the holy part. It has to do with that particular part of the human body. It says it reduces HP. I don't know what the Ixo is supposed to be here. I guess we would need a guy that is truly advanced into the Greek studies, someone that knows ancient Greek to tell you something like this. Fortunately for us, this is not the case. Zoe is life. It quite literally means life. Increases magic potency of your next healing spell by 50%. It does make sense because after all, you do grant the person life. Now, Pepsis is the state of the whole ordeal of consumption, digestion, and absorption through your bowels. This is what Pepsi is. Yes, I get it. Pepsi, the drink. Yes, this is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help you digest, and it's supposed to help you ingest, digest, and absorb food, alright? It restores own HP and the HP of nearby party members, removing Eukrasian Diagnosis and Prognosis effects granted to you. And so on and so forth, it says what it does, right? So it has to do with gastrointestinal system. Physis number 2 is, we already established and saw Physi above. It, scroll up and, go back into the video and read what I said about Physi. It's nature. Now, Taurochole, it has to do with coal, which is, as we said, a part of the human body, but Tauros, or Taurus, for those of you that will probably get this from the Latin perspective, means, bull, okay? Now, what this has to do with restoring somebody's HP, I have no idea. Maybe they're talking about the revitalizing aspects of taurin or tavrini in Greek, which is known to have rejuvenating qualities and attributes to man. Like, if you go drink a fucking Red Bull, sure, long term you're gonna fucking die. But there are way more bad ingredients in there. Tavrini itself will just fucking pump you up, alright? It would make sense that this would be something more of a buff. Oh, there we go. It reduces the damage taken. I guess I could see this from the stretch. Toxikon. Now, toxic. Do I have to explain this? I don't believe I have. Toxikos is the adjective of the word toxicity, which is like toxic in English. It deals unsuspected damage to a target with the potency of that and less damage and so on and so forth. It should put a dot, in my opinion, on the target if you're going to use this fucking word. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Halma. Halma means jumping. Let's see. Affects a magic barrier around self or target member that absorbs damage equivalent to this. It grants... What the fuck is this? Halmanation. What? Now, I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to mean or what they're trying to do. They're trying to anglify a Greek word, maybe. Now, Halma, we're going to use this as a jump, both literally and metaphorically. Like a jump in strength, Halma, dynami, and so on and so forth, right? Or we could use it literally, like he jumped super high. So, they're trying to use it in a sense of uplift, I guess, a state, which is why it affects a magic barrier and it makes it better, I guess. It does make sense. Rhizomata is okay. Rhiza in Greek, modern Greek as well, and ancient Greek, means root. So when you rhizonis, when you take roots into a place, I guess, like, you know, you become stronger, or like you're just fucking stuck there. Like, it has many meanings, this particular word. It says it grants 1 stack of Alder's Grail. This I cannot explain. This is not ours, okay? Holos. Holos, okay. This one means whole, entire, okay? Complete, okay? It restores own HP and the HP of nearby members. I guess it makes you whole. Additional effects affects a barrier which nullifies damage equaling to the amount of HP restored. So it takes the entirety of the barrier and restores HP based on that, you know, based on what is left. So like you take the advantage of the whole fucking barrier, that is remaining of course. So like actually you do take the whole advantage of the barrier, because you did take advantage of the barrier before it became into a healing, and then by it becoming a healing spell, you take advantage of the entirety of it. So it makes sense that it would be called Holos, which quite literally means whole. Panhalma. Okay, so pan in Greece is the word or the prefix we use for everything. You guys know the word pantheon, or pantheo, or pantheon, or pantheo stylinica in Greek, which means all gods. When you put pan in front of something, it means everything. For example, panda, panta, pan afta, everything. Pan ευτυχής, for example, ευτυχής, happy. Pan ευτυχής, super duper happy, like the one that lives in a state of utter bliss, you know? Pandemia, pandemic, you guys know the word, pandemia. Demia, something that affects the demos, the people, okay? Pandemia, something that affects all the people. In separation to epidemia, epidemic, which affects a group of people, okay? Like demos in ancient Greek, I put emphasis on that, means the people, okay? So pan, epi, like you change the word of, you change the fucking meaning of the word, you know? So Panhalma, I'm guessing that it affects, it does Alma on quite literally everybody. That's what I'm expecting to see here. Affects, oh dear lord, what have I just fucking done? Affects a magic barrier around self and all party members. This is the important part. The all party members, it's meant to affect everybody because it has the word pan on it. Yeah, the number 3s are things that we have already seen. Eukrasis, I guess this comes from the word krato, keep, which means to upkeep. We will have to see, you know, because I will explain another perspective, okay? Increases HP recovery via healing actions from a party member or self by 20%. I'm not sure if this means to keep or to upkeep. Engrato, for example, or krato. I'm not sure it comes from this. You guys might be thinking of the word Kratos, you know, like the guy from God of War. I guess it could come from the word who keeps. Like Kratos means, or Kratos in your version, means nation. But what is nation? Nation is the area that is kept by people, you know? So they who kratun, those who keep, create a keep. I mean, it's a fucking English word as well. Keep, you know, the keep. It probably comes like, maybe it has Greek inspirations behind it, I guess, I'm not really sure. Pneuma. Okay, now this is getting very interesting. Pneuma quite literally means spirit in Greek. It deals damage to all enemies in a straight line before you with the potency of this amount of damage for the first guy and less damage for everybody else. It restores HP and HP of all nearby members within a radius of 20 yalms. Picture this, I don't know what the animation is, but picture it as a fucking projectile of spiritual magic that is used to harm the others and heal your allies. Okay? And now if we're to go down here, I think that these are, like it says, job actions. There is nothing Greek here. These are the passive effects, which is like you enhance every single part and so on. This is nothing for me to add here. This, by the way, the other thing that I mentioned before is something that is 100% not Greek. Physis mystery, it's the mystery of nature. I guess it upgrades. There we go. It upgrades. I can speak. I swear to God. Physis to Physis 2 or number 2 here, and so on and so forth. this is not ours. Addergall, I don't know from which word this. Maybe you can help me and type it in the chat or in the comments below, because I will upload this later down the line on YouTube. But Eukrasia is ours. This is not ours. This is not Greek, and that's pretty much it.